February the 20th, we see the waning half moon in Sagittarius. That is the sun square the moon makes the half moons. We also see this connection of Mars in Pisces square Jupiter in Gemini. The moon is also more or less opposing Uranus in Taurus and will be more or less opposing Jupiter in Gemini. This connection with Mercury will also be connecting with the moon when it squares Mercury in Pisces in its movements over the next 24 hours, next 2 days. The third quarter moon, or the last quarter moon, is the halfway point in the waning half of the lunar cycle. It is the halfway point between the full moon and the new moon. This third quarter phase represents the end of the moon's journey. It means it's the final stage in the stage of completion, where we wrap things up, where we release what we don't wish to carry any further and forgive those things that have restricted our path. As a time to let go, relax, and empty our minds, it is the perfect time to adjust and look at our plans and ideas, and to reflect on what we have learned in this lunar cycle, what we have learned from the past, and how much we have grown and what we want to accomplish next. The third quarter moon asks us to make adjustments. It's a time to make a decision and to see things from a new perspective, to see both sides of the story. Quarter moons form in the sky when the moon and the sun meet at a square aspect. Square aspects are aspects of tension, but they are also aspects of reflection, where we are able to look at both sides of the story and to see things in new perspectives. From these new perspectives, we are able to see the decisions and choices that need to be made and to move and turn the corner. The moon in astrology represents our inner self, our emotional self, our intuitive self. It represents the aspects of our inner being that only we know, our unconscious self. The sun in astrology represents our outer self, the self that we illuminate to the world, the self that we shine out, the parts of our being that we allow others in the world to see. So this square aspect between our inner, intuitive, emotional self and our outer physical self is asking us to see things from the two perspectives of our being. So half moons are all about seeing things from our inner self, seeing things from our outer self, figuring out where there's a tension, making a choice, and moving forward. The moon is currently in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the 9th sign of the zodiac. It is the mutable fire sign. It is about freedom, adventure, and letting loose. It wants us to explore and shoot towards our dreams. Mutable signs are signs of change that enable us to make adaptations, to be flexible, and to move forward. Fire signs are about action. They're about our desires and ideas and moving forward. So while the moon is in Sagittarius, it is asking us to expand our minds, expand our ideas, expand our inner choices, and to allow them to come into being by acting on them. The sun has just moved into Pisces recently, so the sun in Pisces is all about this movement into the ends of our outer cycles and allowing us to go with the flow of our being. Pisces is the 12th sign of the zodiac and the last sign in the cycle. It is the mutable water sign. It is the sign of adaptation, of learning to go with the flow of our emotional waters. Water is connected to the emotions. So the sun in Pisces is really asking us to go with the flow of who we are from the depths of our emotional waters, from the depths of the cycles that we have worked through, from the depths of the wholeness that we are. So these energies of the moon in the adventurous sign of Sagittarius, this mutable fire sign, all about taking our ideas and turning them into action, squaring the sun in Pisces, this energy of going with the flow of our emotions and our knowledge, is really asking us to see the two sides of where we stand in this moment, looking at the things that we hold within that we want to work towards, those ideas and actions that we long to go for, and how we are bringing them into being, how we are acting on the things that we hold within. This connection to our emotional waters in our outer side, this connection to our active inner knowing, is asking us to make a choice. The last quarter moon in Sagittarius is all about being grateful. It is about seeing what we have, seeing the skills that we hold, and knowing that we hold all within us. Sagittarius is the ruler of Jupiter and is connected to the energies of expansion, of forward movement. So this last quarter moon is asking us to sit and see what we have, what aspects and ideas we hold on the inside, what actions and ability to move and flow we hold on the outside, and to be grateful for all aspects of our being, and to see that all that we hold is what guides us to make the choices and decisions to move forward. But before we make the choices and decisions to move forward, it's important to understand what we have. It's important to be grateful for all the things that we hold within, to be grateful for our ideas and our actions, and to be grateful for the way that we move forward. We also see the moon forming this opposition with Uranus. Oppositions form when the planetary bodies are in opposite axes to each other, when they are across the zodiac from each other. Oppositions are about confrontation as two energies come to each other at a head, enabling us to form a bridge between those energies. Uranus is the planet of cosmic consciousness and revolutionary change. It represents freedom, doing things our own way, individuality, uniqueness, the rebellion to simply be, thinking and doing things outside the box and the unexpected. It is all about shaking things up to create drastic change. Uranus is currently in Taurus. Taurus is the second sign of the zodiac, the fixed earth sign. It is all about grounding things into being, nurturing things into life. While Uranus has been in Taurus, it has been about grounding ourselves in our being, in whom we are, in our uniqueness, in our ever-changing self. It has allowed us to accept that change is the only constant, and given us the courage to express ourselves from our own uniqueness. Uranus will be moving out of Taurus this summer, so we're wrapping up its journey through this transit, which has been a powerful one for individual change. It has been a powerful transit for awakening us to our true self and how we are the ones that must nurture ourselves into being. So this opposition of the last quarter moon with Uranus and Taurus is asking us to see the changes that we have made that have allowed us to stand in where we are, seeing how these aspects of change have shifted our inner desires, our inner actions, and to be grateful for the changes that we have worked through, to be grateful that we have the ability to change and grow, and to remind us that we are able to nurture things into being. We are able to see the changes that we need to make, to act on them, and to allow them to grow. As the moon continues to move through the sign of Sagittarius over today and tomorrow, it's going to also form this opposition with the planet Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of infinite potential and growth. It is all about expansion, abundance, opportunities and luck, leadership, our truth and knowledge and wisdom, and how we use those things to move forward. It is about the resources we hold and how we take risks and actions to magnify things in all its forms. It is energy of just potential and growth. For the last year, Jupiter has been in the sign of Gemini. Gemini is the third sign of the zodiac, the mutable air sign. And it will be transiting to the next sign in May, into Cancer in May. So Jupiter in Gemini has been all about expanding our minds, expanding our ability to change the way that we are thinking, to change the way that we express our thoughts and the actions that we take from those ideas and thoughts. Jupiter brings expansion to every connection that there is, so enabling us to express ourselves in expansive ways. So this opposition with the moon and Jupiter is really going to bring this energy of expansion and abundance to these cosmic connections, allowing us to really make the choices and changes and decisions that are going to allow us to move forward abundantly. Part of being grateful is seeing the abundance that we hold within. So this is a reminder that we have all that we need within, that we have all the abundance available to us, and Jupiter is here reminding us of that infinite potential. While all this is going on, we see Mercury in Pisces squaring Jupiter in Gemini. Mercury is the planet of communication and messages. It represents our communication in all its forms, what we say, our words, our tones, the thoughts and expressions that we have, and our intellect and ability to communicate in all forms. While in Pisces, it has been asking us to look at the cycles of our communication and how they allow us to express ourselves from a deeper level. Are we expressing ourselves with emotional intelligence? Are we allowing our expressions to change and flow? Are we allowing our expressions to be led by the cycles of the past? Or are we allowing ourselves to open up into new forms of expression? So this square aspect between Jupiter and Mercury is really asking us to make choices to expand the way that we communicate in abundant ways, to see that our communication and the way that we express ourselves has infinite potential, but it also has the ability to influence our minds and the ways that we turn up in our world. So these connections of our inner self squaring our outer self, our communications squaring our abundance, and our inner self in opposition with our ability to change and grow, is really allowing us to see our whole cycle and process, and to be grateful for the changes that we have worked through, to be grateful for the inner ideas that we hold, and the way that we turn up in our world and how we express those things, the abundance that we have and hold, and the changes we are able to make. So this quarter moon in Sagittarius, is asking us to make adjustments to the ways that we see ourselves, the ways that we see our potential, the ways that we are grateful, the ways that we show up in our world, the ways that we communicate and grow, and to allow us to make choices and decisions that will move us into the energies of change.